I promised you the story of when Neville Goddard manifested someone coming back from the dead. So, welcome to this video.
Janine, I'm helpless for your smile.
It seems to me as if he didn't consciously try to manifest that person coming back, but Neville Goddard was really experienced in manifesting and knowing already that what we call reality is not actually real. So he has made his share of experiences, and he already believed that the death is not the end. He was talking about that in several lectures. But this is an experience where someone who was close to him, if I remember it right, it was his brother-in-law, had passed, and then all of a sudden he was alive again. This is an excerpt of one of the speeches Neville gave. So let's peek into it.
For the world does not end where our senses cease to register it. When a man dies, as we call him dying, he doesn't cease to be. He is solidly real, restored in a body just like this, only he is young. He is about 20. He drops off at 90. He finds himself 20, restored to life. But he hasn't changed one iota. His ideas that were present before he died are his ideas after. Whatever they were. If he was stupid here, he's just as stupid there. If he was a thief here, he's a thief there. Whatever he is it there. And they don't even know that they have departed this section of time. They do not know, because no one dies. God is the God of the living, and nothing dies. Because it doesn't die. How can you tell a man, when you're looking at him and you're talking to him, don't you know I went to your funeral? He'll laugh at you. What funeral? Well, I went to your funeral. I saw them put you down into the little grave. And he starts to laugh at you as though you're insane. Because he knows he is not dead. But he doesn't know that he went through the so-called gate that we on this side of the veil call death. That happened to me years ago, back in 1946 it was. I came out here in 45. No, it was 47. I came out here in 45, returned in 1946, in the summer. I got a cable from New York City that my secretary had dropped dead. It was a hot August day, and they found the body on the floor. He had died of a heart attack. I went back and took care of his funeral. He was a Catholic. And I gave him a good Catholic funeral in Haverstraw, New York. 6 months later, I find myself in the world where he is. I am fully awake and fully conscious. I know that Jack died 6 months ago. I meet my sister-in-law, who always said to me, I like you as a brother-in-law because you're very kind to my sister and to your child, which is my niece. But I don't believe one word that you talk about. I don't believe you at all. At that moment, here is my former and now departed secretary, Jack Butler. And I say to my sister-in-law, Al, her name is Alice, I said, Al, so you don't believe what I teach. You don't believe in survival, because she always said, I'm a good Christian, but you survive only through the loins of your parents. And you perpetuate yourself in that manner. I said, how can you be a Christian and tell that? Christianity is based upon the foundation stone, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man. And you tell me now that there is no such thing as the Bible. Life everlasting is the third stone of the great foundation stone of Christianity. Fatherhood of God, brotherhood of man, and life everlasting. She said, I still don't believe what you teach. And I said to her, then look at Jack. And she said to me, what has that to do with it? I said, don't you know that Jack died? And her face blanched. She knew Jack had died. I said, all right, there he is. He's alive, isn't he? And Jack said to me, who died? I said, Jack, you died. I went to your funeral. I buried you. I got a good Catholic funeral for you in Haverstraw, New York. put you all the way down and covered you up with a lot of sand. And that's where that body was and still is. It's decaying now. He said, who's dead? I said, you aren't dead, Jack, but you died. He said, how stupid. I'm not dead, but I died. Jack had gone 6 months and did not realize he had gone. People do not change, I'm telling you. They haven't any concept because they're still dreaming. You're dreaming this world, and you're dreaming that world too. You only awaken when within your own skull you become awake and you are born from above.
So as you heard, it was actually somebody who was close to Neville. It was, if I'm not mistaken, his brother-in-law. And in my other video, I was talking about it may be hard to manifest someone coming back from the dead if we had a close connection. But yeah, Neville was so experienced already knowing this is now real. So he manifested his brother-in-law coming back, and Neville was the only one who remembered that he had died. Neither his sister nor his brother-in-law remembered the passing. Why? Because Neville shifted into a timeline where it didn't happen. So, of course, his sister didn't make that experience from that timeline, losing her husband, because in this timeline it didn't happen. So he didn't take that version of her into this timeline. He shifted, and he then encountered the version of his sister and his brother-in-law where it never happened. Therefore, they could not have any memory about it happening. Never did, though. I think that this is quite fascinating as well, and it proves, yes, we can manifest someone coming back from that. We can shift to timelines where somebody who has passed in one timeline, or in a multitude of timelines, of course, is still alive in another multitude of timelines. We bring our memory into this timeline, but the people we meet, they don't share the same memories. They share different memories. And that also explains why when something happens, like an argument, people often have a different story. Like one person is absolutely sure that A was said, and the other person is absolutely sure that B was said. And both may be right, because they're meeting in this timeline now where both have their own truth. That's what we call reality. It is fluctuating all the time. So I think it's absolutely fascinating that when we shift to another timeline, yeah, we bring our memories, but other people won't remember that. And that also explains why revision works. Because when you revise, for example, an argument with somebody, or that person breaking up with you, then you will still have the memory of them breaking up. And now there's different scenarios that can play out. You could shift into a timeline where that breakup happened, but that person realized that was a mistake, and they say, I don't know what I was thinking, of course I want to be with you. Or you may shift to a timeline where that breakup didn't actually happen, and then your person won't even remember it. So there's different scenarios, of course, that could play out. In the end, it doesn't matter which one you experience. So when we want to manifest, we don't want to choose, okay, I want to have the version where they remember or don't remember, because it doesn't matter. When you're back together, right? But when you revise something, you literally change the past, not your memory. However, there is a difference of your conscious memory and I want to say your energetic memory, because we already said in this timeline his brother-in-law died, and this he didn't die. Let's say he would actually have revised that. Then he would have the conscious memory of him dying still, but he would have revised that to tell his, let's say, like energetic memory, it didn't happen. And then there is this part of him who takes on the new story, it didn't happen, and then we shift into a timeline where it really didn't happen. So you have the conscious memory, but you have a different energetic memory. And it also explains when we want to manifest something why self-concept is vital. Because we want to shift out from the timeline where, let's say, we were rejected, to the version of us, our new energetic memory, not the conscious, but the energetic memory I'm the one who always has been chosen. Rejection? What's rejection? How do you spell that? I have never heard of that weird word. Rejection? Wait, I think that may have happened to somebody. I may have heard that. But me? I don't get rejected. Not ever. Right? So we want to train our energetic level to take on this new assumption, this new identity of someone who didn't experience the breakup, didn't get rejected, or in that case, maybe consciously again remember somebody passing, but energetically that didn't happen. And this also explains why I think it would be so difficult to manifest shifting timeline if you're not like Neville, who has the strong belief already, because Neville does not have the knowledge but also vast experiences of this, what we call reality not being real. He is a master in that. So for him, making a shift like that, a jump from this timeline to that may be easy, but if we need to have our energetic memory, that's just a term I just came up with, you're welcome to use it and spread it. But if our energetic memory is that of loss and fear and pain and grief, you won't be able to jump to the timeline where they are still alive. We have to clear this energetic memory of that never happened. Again, not your conscious memory, your energetic memory, your energy body. You have to delete it out of that energy body of, yeah, I've been through this painful, incredibly painful experience of loss and grief to get there. That is why I advised in my video what I would advise for someone who wants to try to manifest someone back, not to try to manifest that timeline shift, at least not out of that energy, but to manifest being at peace, going with the path of least resistance and manifesting being healed and peace, and to live a joyful, happy life, and to still cherish that person that passed, but being okay with them not being in the physical anymore, and instead of grieving, being happy to have had that time with that person. So that can be manifested. But again, you just saw, in theory, and not just in theory, also practically, you could manifest jumping the timeline. It just depends on where you are on your ascension journey and what limiting beliefs you have and what assumptions you have about death and that what you call reality. If you already have spent years of training and constantly experiencing that this is what you call reality is not real, then it may be just an easy thing, just like with Neville. Brother-in-law dead, brother-in-law alive, sister happy. Anyway, that's my thoughts about that, and let me know what you think. I'm always happy to read your comments. If this gave you some valuable information, as I always say, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and yeah, there's more to come on this death series. I still have some amazing stories that might blow your mind. Blew mine, particularly one of them blew my mind, where somebody really vividly experienced the wheel of recurrence of dying in one and now having to choose where to go back, choosing an alternative. Absolutely amazing. I see you there or in another video. Until then, of course, I do wish you all the best now. Bye bye.